marching up to freedom land. Now that we know it, ain't gonna let nobody turn us around. Turn me around. Turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. And the freedom we want is dignity and housing for everyone in Rhode Island. Yes. So we have some people here that I would love to have speak. Diamond, I see you.
What?
Come on, Diamond. And I saw Reverend Donnie Anderson. Could you come up here? Come on down. So we want to make sure that impacted people's voices are heard. Sorry, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Pamela. I'm from the Rhode Island Poor People's Campaign.
Poor People's Campaign.
And the Massachusetts Poor People's Campaign is also standing in solidarity with us. As is the National Union of the Homeless all over the country. So I just want you to know that there is a lot of support because everybody in every state is dealing with us. So we're not going to let anyone turn this around. Okay, I figured it out, I think. You could be, because I'm not good at this. I know, I'm sorry. No.
Hello? We're going to try. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
I just want to tell everybody good morning. Thank you for being here.
Morning, Diamond.
For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Diamond. I'm an advocate. I'm an outreach worker. I'm part of the Poor People's Campaign. I'm also on the Massachusetts Street team. I first want to acknowledge you guys for coming out here to stand with us before with this situation here. This is a human crisis right now. This is a genocide right now. People deserve housing. You promised us housing last year. We did this last year. People died. People are going to die this year. All we want is a little compassion. Please, give us these beds. You're saying they're here. Everybody here knows what I'm going to say next that works with us. How did these beds magically open?
Yes.
Did you bump other people off of the list for this?
Well,
I'm thankful you started, but you left the women out here again.
Yes.
Do you know how traumatizing it is for a woman to be homeless, to not be able to take a shower? You have to be degraded by people. And you're just asking for some sympathy. It's cold. I need a bed. I need somebody to be there for me. You know, there's a lot of people that are here today that have been with me on my journey to get where I'm at. And I want to tell you thank you for not giving up on me. But now what we need to do is do this for someone that was like me when I first got in the system. And I didn't know what to do. And I was traumatized from everything. And I'm going to stand here today and I'm going to tell Governor McKee, I'm not going nowhere. You got my phone number. You know who I am. I've been calling your phone all week. How dare you send a trash piece of paper to these people that are traumatized and tell them to get out. And the rain. But wait, you're the governor, so that means you should be a man to come out and face these people. I don't see you being a man facing anybody right now. I see your cronies doing it for you. Governor McKee, listen well. We're not leaving. We're not going nowhere. We tried this last year to be nice. We're here to stay. Just like your state police are here to stay, guess what? We are too.
Is Reverend Donnie over here? Oh, yes, she is. Yay.
we're not gonna take it.
Okay. Well, first of all, look at all of you who have shown up here this morning because you care about what's happening on these steps. Listen, this is your house. This is your house. The governor may have an office here, but this is your house. And we know because, look, nobody is out here on these cold marble slabs sleeping because they've chosen to be a nice way to spend some vacation time.
Right.
They're here because there are real problems, they're complicated problems, and bringing the state police in to push people off this property doesn't help those problems. In fact, it just exacerbates those problems. Now look, I'm a simple preacher, okay? I'm nothing special or complicated. These people who are here are the heroes. They are the ones who are sleeping out in the cold, facing the elements and doing all of this. And the very least that the rest of us can do as Rhode Islanders is to be here, to stand here in solidarity with these people and to say they will not be moved by a bunch of state police.
Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia Mendes, former state senator, lifetime activist, and friend of many of the people that we love and are defending right now that are sleeping outside. And there's some really important things that we need to know about our friends that are here. And the cruelty that has been given to them, that has been bestowed on them from the people in power, i.e. Dan McKee. Many of the people that are here right now have jobs. There's a woman here that works and has to travel all the way to Massachusetts for work. There's another man who lives here who has a job at a restaurant. They cannot go into shelters because shelters close, and we are making them, let me make this clear, not we. Dan McKee is making them choose between employment and shelter. That is cruelty. That is a crime against humanity. And in my faith religion, that's called sin.
Amen.
Dan McKee has had an opportunity to help the people who are literally sleeping and suffering on his doorstep, and he has turned the other way. There is a couple of very easy measures that he could have done. What he could have done was continue to keep the FEMA hotel voucher program going. It was simply just checking yes.
Yes!
He let that expire because he doesn't care. We had, in my district in Pawtucket, we have Memorial Hospital, which last year we fought like hell, so they created a space for families to have shelter. They let that close down right now. Displace those families to Warwick. There are children displaced. How are they getting to school? They displace those families, and there's no shelter option for them. There's currently rent is rising. No option to protect them. It is a cruel, cruel system. Dan McKee has proven to us that he is both incompetent and cruel. And I refuse to believe that Rhode Islanders are. Because when it comes time to fight for our neighbors, we show up. When it's time to beat our neighbors, we show up. When it's time to warn our neighbors, we show up. We have case workers who are working underpaid, overworked, and continue to show up. We have faith leaders that continue to show up. We have nurses and doctors and activists that continue to show up, and we continue to have a cruel, cruel leader of the state who continues to look the other way. And so what I believe, and this has been resounding in my heart since I've listened to it, and I said it last night, I've been re-listening to Dr. Martin Luther King's sermons for weeks. And toward the end, when he started pissing people off the most, he said it's time to redistribute the pain. They're not going to redistribute the funds. They're not going to redistribute the energy. They're not going to redistribute the money. So let's redistribute the pain. Let's start making them feel a little hurt. I want to see some powerful men cry.
Yes!
I want to see some people with money hurt.
Yes!
And how about and the cruelty that they think that they can sit on our money, that budget, that surplus is our money. That bank account should be zero. As the minister Jefferson said last night, they need to start writing checks because they're overdue. And if anybody needs to be evicted, it's them.
Yes!
Hello? Hello? Can
Yeah. You can hear me? Okay, I'm here to say my name is Terry. I represent DARE. And I'm here to say where's the love and the compassion?
Can't hear you back here.
I'm here to say where's the love and the compassion?
Out here. That's right.
Instead of harassment. You have homeless folks, unsheltered folks, and this...
Hello?
Wrong way. You have homeless and unsheltered folks who are suffering right now. And this does not look like a governor that cares.
Yep.
You have folks literally waiting outside until housing becomes available, and that's not right. Why are they waiting outside when there's buildings around? There's also the hotel program that could come back.
Yes.
Why are you against the hotel program? Why are you against housing unsheltered folks? There are no porta potties around the city that say, hey, I know you're going through a tough time. I'm doing the best I can, but I care. There is no caring. You have a governor whose staff came out in the pouring rain to issue soup and sandwiches. Sandwiches to get soggy instead of inviting folks who are unsheltered here and living at our house some warmth and a table and some compassion. So now I'm here to say that the governor does not care. We've tried this. We've tried to go in and speak with the governor to no available. The governor doesn't believe that any encampments exist.
He doesn't believe it.
Take a walk. Josh Saul was invited to take a walk and did not show up, nor return that phone call.
Shame.
If you want to see what's going on in your city, get out there in it and take a look. Unsheltered folks are not hard to find. Let's get back to love and compassion, the season of giving, not the season of taking.
Yes.
And and shelter for the, and home for the unsheltered. Shelter beds should not only be once a year. Let's house folks until housing comes available. Other than that, it doesn't make any sense. Winter beds, and then you're out and you're forced to live out there. You have new drug use, increased 911 calls. I'm going to say exasperated emergency room personnel. Let's get it together because it's costing taxpayers money as well. Everyone should be here. Housing is a human right and it affects all of us. So don't think just because you have money that this crisis is not affecting you. Thank you.
Okay, it's this way. It's this way. I just wanted to add to what Terry just said, because we know that everyone in this country that is working a job is $400 away from a disaster. If you become disabled, if you have an accident, if you lose your job, if your landlord is able to give their apartment to a child or a family member, they will evict you. And these are not small things, but I mean, all of us are $400 away from being on the streets. And this is the problem. The governor does not seem to understand. And apparently people in the rest of the country do not understand. But we know that we have 140 million poor and low-wealth people that are living paycheck to paycheck and are very close to disaster. It is time for us all to stand up. Thank you so much for being here, Reverend Dwayne. I'm sure you have a word for us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please look around at yourselves. This will not be won by one or two mass assemblies of individuals. This will be won by a growing network of organizations. How many of you here, this is not a test, how many of you here are in a student organization, a labor union, a church, or some association of public good like an environmental group, so you raise your hands. Okay, now look around again. Now we've got to link these organizations. This is real. This isn't going to be one with a poof. If it was, the poof would have already happened. This is only going to be one by going deep, getting organized, and learning each other's names and staying together. Right now, take just a moment. We'll just take a moment. Turn to somebody you don't know. Introduce yourself right now, please.
How are you? Hey.
Hey, how you doing, dude?
Where's Pat?
Yeah, I've seen you around.
All right. Now, some of you play music. Got any musicians here? Come on, raise your hand. Come on, somebody. All right. Some of you write poetry. I'm not being stupid here. Some of you write poetry. Some of you have something to say. Some of you make some pretty good dishes that some hungry people would like to have. Some of you have some extra clothes. Let's get it together and form organizations and get this thing done. Because we can survive if we have to. But every day will be a test for these people. So I'm going to ask that those of you that work the web. We got to get a Facebook page up. We got to get something up. We got to get a central network so we can call. I don't think they're going to evict them this morning. Do you? But what happens tonight in the middle of the night? We don't know. And what happens in a couple days from now? One more thing. So we meet in an organizing committee. I think we're going to have to call a much larger meeting of allies to really get this thing firing on all cylinders. I mean, it's Christmas coming. And there's a story of a homeless couple with a woman in labor who doesn't have a house. So I don't care what your beliefs are, but anybody that's ever put an icicle on a Christmas tree, oh, that's too old of a reference. Anybody who ever has done a Santa Claus in your yard, oh, that's stupid. Anybody, you know what I'm talking about. These are our stories, not their stories. Let's take them back. This needs to be a public nativity. It's not about this religion, that religion. It's about a story of homeless people getting some hospitality. So let's do it. Let's do it. The churches attempted to provide porta-johns. They were refused. We asked for extra trash bins. No comment. So let's get this thing done ourselves. If we have to do it, then let's do it.
Good morning, friends. It's a little cold out here, but I'm so glad there's so many here. My name is Sorrell. I'm a member of the Statewide Independent Living Committee, which is a much smaller organization than that name sounds like it is. There's like 9 of us. And I wanted to talk about a bit of the behind-the-scenes things that have been going on that haven't been on camera. As the Reverend said, the stuff that happens at night. Right over here, there's a police detail of state police. This is the 2nd or 3rd shift of them in a row. They're preventing people from setting up new tents here. If you want to set up a tent, they're not going to let you, which is, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but that sounds like a violation of rights to me. If you look around, there's a bunch of tents that are torn down because they're suggesting that people don't spend the night here. Again, violation of rights. A couple of days ago, somebody came out of the State House who didn't identify themselves and handed a piece of paper that was not a court order that was not signed by anyone, that didn't even have the state letterhead on it, saying that people have until 9 a.m. today to get out. Police witnessed this getting given out and didn't do anything to stop it. Nobody cares. That's the problem.
We care.
We care. That's why we're here. And other people need to care too, or this is just going to keep getting worse until there are bodies out here. People freezing to death. Like, yeah, it's cold today, but it was colder than last night. It's going to be colder tonight. It's going to snow soon. It's going to freeze. What are people going to do? Where are they going to go? There's hundreds of people on the wait list for the shelter beds.
Right.
Unless somebody broke the law and pushed people to the top. And if that happened, I wonder who authorized it? People have been in this public space with tents for months now. And as soon as the organizations have started getting together to try and make something happen, that's when the police decide that it's time for us to get out. Hell with that.
Yes.
I second the Reverend's saying that everyone needs to join our organizations and join our efforts together. Because rent is just going up, social programs are going down, and we need to be a united front. And I'm not very hard to find. Come find me and we'll talk if you want to join with the Independent Living Committee.
Forward together. Not one step back.
Forward together!
Not one step back!
Forward together!
Not one step back!
Forward together!
Not one step back!
How you guys doing this morning? My name is Adam. Nice to meet all of you guys. It's a bad term, but you know, this morning I heard a lot of stories on people that are out here, and with working with Masterson Street Church for a little over 6 months now. I've been cooking breakfast for the homeless and helping out with that. And you know what? The stories I hear from them are remarkable. Like stuff that you'd never even think you'd hear. And the guy behind that closed doors that still has yet to come out, and I don't think he's got the guts nor the courage to come out, is still behind closed doors, but yet gives a paper with coffee, donuts, and sandwiches and tells people to get out. That makes no sense. None. Not right at all. This morning, I woke up to go take a sip of my water. There was ice in it. How would he feel if that was him, as a human body? That's not right. Not right to any person or persons to be standing there or sleeping outside. I've been homeless now for a little over a year. And it's ridiculous. Like the population should all, there's no I in team. We all should work together as multiple and say, screw him. Let's do it together and make something happen. Thank you guys very much for coming out.
How's everybody doing today? Thank you all for coming out. I just want to say thank you. But I also want to say this. I've been homeless for about 10 years. I just started getting into housing in the last 8 months. It doesn't happen overnight. The McKee thinks he can place these people and jump the waiting list that CES has going, that has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds on it. Over 500 people are on that waiting list. Well over 500. The last I knew was 650 to be exact. This is a human rights crisis. Not only that, when I was trying to get into shelters back when I was couch hopping and
going place to place to stay warm and to have something over my head. I couldn't get into shelters because I'm a medical marijuana patient. Oh, and my card is issued through the state of Rhode Island. Not from Massachusetts, not from California, not from Delaware or Washington. It is issued from the state of Rhode Island, right from the Department of Health. And I've been refused to get into shelters where I was trying to because of that. Not only that, there's people that have emotional support animals being refused access to shelters because they have a dog. Well, I'm sorry to say, dear McKee, to all the shelters out there, an ESA is part of the fair housing rights. ESA is to be seen no different than a CNI dog. An ESA is for somebody that has PTSD, depression, anxiety, or any kind of mental health illness. So just like a CNI dog is supposed to help you walk and see, an ESA is supposed to help you your mood and your depression and your struggles throughout life. And they're also being denied shelter access because of that. All they're going to say is Dan McKee better get his head on his butt, to be more respect, and start doing something for we the people. We the people. This is our house, like it's been stated. This is our property. And like we started chanting before, not one step forward. One step forward. One step forward.
All together, my bad.
I'm so sorry. Hello?
There you go.
Okay, I'm so sorry. So I know we've been standing here for a while. Thank you so much for being here, but we are going to continue a little bit. So we're going to have a little bit of a break with a couple songs. This one's an echo song, so could you echo back everything I say?
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, rise up, we're gonna rise up.
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 Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.
Because the people united will stand our ground.
Because the people united will stand our ground.
Rise up, we're gonna rise up.
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 Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.
Because the people united will stand our ground.
Because the people united will stand our ground.
Rise up, rise up,
Rise up,
rise up. And Senator Cynthia Mendez has a song from last year for those of you who were there for Here Without Rhode Island.
So many of you may remember this, and if you
Reason. Too close.
if you do, I need you loud and close. Because I need to see if I can remember this. It's called This Joy That I Have, and one of the important things about this song that I felt like centered a lot of us, Krista, you can come over and help me, is to remind us like where we get our power from. It's here. It's among us. This is where the power is. This is where the love is. This is where the joy is. And we're not reliant on them for it. And this is where we build our power right in this space. So, let's see if I can remember it. This joy that I have, they didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, they didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, they didn't give it to me. They didn't give it, and they can't take it away. This love that I have, they didn't give it to me. This love that I have, they didn't give it to me. This love that I have, that I have, they didn't give it to me. This peace that I have, they didn't give it to me. They didn't give it, and they can't take it away. How about power? You better say it like you got power. This power that I have, they didn't give it to me. This power that I have, they didn't give it to me. This power that I have, they didn't give it to me. They didn't give it, and they can't take it away. We're going to end on where we always start, love. This love that I have, they didn't give it to me. This love that I have, they didn't give it to me. This love that I have, they didn't give it to me. They didn't give it, and they can't take it away. Love y'all. I don't see him.
The State House is open now.
Oh, there he is.
And yeah, nobody is brave enough to come out. I kind of want to take that over there and yell at them. Yeah, right, exactly.
So, is this still okay? So, Dr. Eric Hirsch is going to come speak. He's been working on this for 30 years, which means that this has been a long-standing problem that anyone that even just got in government knows about. So, telling us that they didn't know about it, simply a lie. So, Dr. Eric Hirsch.
Thanks, Pam. Yeah, this is 30 years too long.
Yes.
You know, as a society, as a community, what's the minimum we should be giving people? Part of that is a roof over their heads.
That's right. Yeah.
How do we have a society where we don't do that? All these people are homeless for one reason, and that is they can't afford the rent. You know, rents of $2,000 for a two-bedroom apartment. Most households in the state can't afford that. And then we do nothing about it, and we blame the people who are out here on the street for being here, when it's actually the failure of the housing market to do what it's supposed to do, which is distribute housing to people. So many people have been living outside, especially in the last 6 to 8 months. The current number is nearly 400 people staying outside, and right now it's 30 degrees, it's going down to 25 tonight. People definitely can die out there. I just don't understand it, how the governor can rationalize not acting and getting people inside. He said himself, by Thanksgiving, anyone who wanted a shelter bed could get one. I just got the number from last night. I'm the co-chair of the Homeless Management Information System Steering Committee, and I've been chair since 2003. There are 3 open shelter beds, because maybe some people have left those beds. Where is the governor going to put people if he evicts them in an hour? There's no place to put them. We need him to reopen hotel beds. We had at one point like 500 people in hotels. Yes, it costs a lot of money. There's over $30 million that's devoted to dealing with homelessness. Right now, he could spend that money, put everyone who needs a roof over their head, a hotel room. There's no other solution, partly because he didn't do the other things we asked him to do, like set up pallet shelters, rapidly deployable shelters, like the one we had set up here several weeks ago. They wouldn't do that, and now we're left with hotel beds. I don't think he gets that he can't keep pretending that he has beds for people, because we're going to call him on it every time. They don't. That's false. They don't have beds for people. So stop saying it. And get your ass in gear and provide hotel rooms for people.
Folks, I didn't spend the night out here. I've just been out here since this morning, and I'm freezing. I think we should take this talk inside.
Yeah! Bathroom break.
Well, we're taking it inside, guys. We're taking it inside.
Let's get warm. Have a little conversation. We can come back out.
Whose house?
Our house. Our house. Our
Anyone got a message for the government? Do your job. Feel free to share it with me on the way in the door.
The hotel beds open yesterday.
No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
I don't have to.
I'm just kidding. No more heels! No more heels! Sorry guys, just waiting right here. Yeah. Riding on heels today. You guys, no heels, no straight flat boots.
This is my first time back.
Well, I'm back. Housing is a human right.
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 No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
I said no justice. No justice.
I'm gonna probably stand up for
No
four.
justice.
Have you been here before? There's a
House the homeless.
sort of a center gallery, but the building is largely wide open, right? But Capitol Police are waiting.
Dan McKee!
Do your job.
Dan McKee!
Do your job.
Dan McKee!
Do your job.
Yourself!
Do your job.
Yourself!
Do your job.
Yourself!
Do your job.
Dan McKee!
Do your job.
Housing is a human right!
Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right!
Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right!
Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right!
Housing is a human right.
My name is Erica. I'm a local artist from Providence, Rhode Island. I'm also a single mother of four that did a lot of work at the Lithuanian Club Hospital Shelter this past winter. I was just going out to feed the homeless with a friend of mine one night, and then stumbled upon the Lithuanian Club and just began volunteering there for almost 70 days. And I mean, my viewpoint on it is that a single mother of four can make a change and impact the lives of people that are experiencing homelessness than anybody can. I also have experienced, I'm shaking. I also have experienced my own displacement this past year. So myself and my four children were displaced from our home after my landlord received rent relief. I was still told to leave because I was considered a liability. So I've been sharing a one-bedroom space, which I'm grateful for, to have a roof over my head for myself and my children. Since February, just a one-bedroom with 6 of us in there. And it's more than what the folks out here have on the front steps of this house. It's cold this morning, and people are living in this weather, and it's not right. There's space, there's places for people to go, and we can make that happen. I'm a singer, so I'm just going to sing a little bit of something I've been working on that's just from my heart. So also learning guitar very slowly, so no judgment there. But please, once you catch along,
Whose house? Whose house? Dan McKee! Dan McKee! Dan McKee! Dan McKee!
Do your job!
Darcel!
Do your job!
Darcel!
Do your job!
Darcel!
Do your job! Hey, better lion.
Hey, okay, bud. I'm not good at this yet. I need about two more weeks of winterizing.
That's because it changes everything.
I'm live right now, so.
It's the house that we're going to go there. It's getting into our own state house.
Thank you.
Shoot from right.
Yeah, you can shoot on it. Jump back on my way. Put it right over there.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have good eyesight.
Okay. Yep, put it over there in the corner. Same thing, guys. You can have the flags, you can't have the sticks. You can put them over there and get them when you leave. All right, all right. You jump back in line there, kiddo.
Trying to empty my pockets. I make it easier for you.
There you go. Go ahead, just jump right in there. All right. Go ahead, jump right back in line. Make sure your pockets are empty when you get up there. It'll go a lot quicker. If you have a bag, throw everything in your bag. Right over there. Are empty when you get up there, it'll go a lot quicker.
Go!
pockets are empty, it'll go quicker when you get up there. Get up there. Make sure your pockets are empty when you get up there, it'll go a lot quicker. If you have a bag, throw everything in your bag. Drop that glove, young lady. Yeah. Make sure everything's out of your pockets when you get up there. You got steel-toe boots, let us know. There you go. Surprised you just wear a sweatshirt, Peg. You spend a lot of time outside. No, I saw. Make sure it's not nice.
I got asthma.
Make sure everything's out of your pockets so it'll go quicker when you get up there. If you have a bag, put everything in your bag. It makes it easier. The young lady's like the car over there. You put it right over there. You need that for stability though, to carry. Listen, just put the bull on over there. Are you sure? All right, just put it over there then. They're not allowed. Instruments aren't allowed in. No.
You need me to run that through? Or can I grab that?
What's that?
Do you need me to run that through?
What?
Like my,
oh, yeah,
No, go, just go through and you can grab it over here. I can see it from here. You can cut that up front with them.
Black and white.
All right. There's railings on either side. Folks, make sure your pockets are empty. Everything, if you got a bag, for everything in your bag, it makes it easier. Everything out of your pocket. What's that, sir? Oh, yeah, that's okay. Well, it's nothing. I never found those things really work. You know, I think they're a placebo. They work for half a second, then they're ice cold, yeah. How are you? Make sure everything's out of your pockets, folks, when you get up there.
Lane.
We didn't have this planned on us. Not planning on taking any arrests or anything like that. But I did get money back. This is not that time. I didn't say I wanted people. I'm really
Hi, John.
4 years ago. 2,000 people. We never built a relationship. And we can't always do this spontaneous, but sometimes people just get scared. You know how it works. You know, with all the other countries here. One day everybody's in the streets and it's not about. The next day everybody's gone. So we have to build those trust and organizations, sort things out and make mistakes and correct each other and make mistakes and try again. Right? So I don't think, does everybody have a pad that sits around? It feels to me like we always have to worry about giving away too much information when we're having flexible, nonviolent tactics. Because it is kind of once we get into a struggle like this, where the state says no and we say yes, then we have a struggle. And so we have to be smart about it, we have to be creative, we have to be flexible. We have to always do the unexpected, or most always. Because now it's a question of expanding to other people and bringing in more people. So I don't know the answer, but I know some of you do. I know some of you are wizards. Some of you are, I don't know this. I don't know this. Okay. All right, so let's do this. We got a list going around. Make sure nobody steals the list. Make sure you print legibly and put your preferred means of contact. Okay? So let's start there. For those of you that are in organizations, if you're in an environmentalist group, student group, whatever you're in, I don't know how to do this, but I think maybe we need to have some meetings with churches and all these organizations. Say, let's come together maybe for a big meeting or something. We can do that, and I think that will send not only a strong message, I think it'll prepare us for all the fights. So we got a couple people here. We have somebody from the National Union of Homeless, and we have a person named CJ. Yes, where is CJ?
CJ is right here. CJ is going to speak. CJ is one of my friends. He has been doing this work for a long time, and he was out every single night with us last year at the Sleep Out. And last year at the Sleep Out, we celebrated his birthday, and a year later, it's his birthday, and we're here again. So I actually today is CJ's birthday. So we're gonna sing CJ happy birthday. Yes. Yeah. We're gonna go. Okay. And Bobby is our friend. He's someone that's here, and he was just talking about he works at a restaurant and he's going to make sure you get a cake. But I want to sing CJ happy birthday because there's a familial feeling here. Yeah. There's family here. Even though we don't know each other, we don't know each other's names, we're here. That's true solidarity. That's right. And so I just want to acknowledge that and sing CJ happy birthday. So we're going to do that. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear CJ. Happy birthday to you. Speak on it.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to take a moment and first of all thank everyone for being out here and just how disappointed I am that we're here again a year to the day and nothing has changed. We have been fighting. It seems like we've been moving toward progress, and then all of a sudden it felt like the door was shut on us, and that progress there is no progress. So I just wanted to thank you for being here, but I really wanted to call attention to our foster youth who are being, give it up for them. Our foster youth who are literally aging out into homelessness. It's state-sanctioned homeless.
Yes.
That's right.
And can we expect anything less? I mean, that is outrageous. It's outrageous that we have mothers with children on the street. But children who don't have mothers are on the street. Children who don't have families are on the street. And then they fall into addiction, and they get blamed for the addiction that they're involved in. They fall into crime, looting, food, and resources because the state doesn't want to give them food and resources, and then they get jailed. And it's this cycle of poverty and institutional trauma that they end up going through, and they turn around 29, 30, 40 years later and say, what did I do? Where did I go wrong? And they blame themselves or they kill themselves. Let's just be honest. People say, suicide, call the hotline. How about we address why people kill themselves? Right. It's very real. It's very real trauma. So I wanted to call attention to that and remind you guys that we're all in this together, but there are some young people who are not able to be here. They probably have no way to get here. They don't know this is happening. So keep them in your hearts. They're not just foster youth. They're LGBT youth whose families have said, get out. They're pregnant youth. So we have young people out there who really, 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 really need us. And I was one of them. And so, thank you.
Rhode Island Poor People's Campaign. We're a national organization for moral revival, working on systemic poverty, systemic racism, ecological devastation and the denial of health care, militarism and the war economy, and the false moral narrative of Christian nationalism. So, but one of our partners is the National Union for the Homeless, and Savina Martin is with Massachusetts Poor People's Campaign.
And we're approaching another revolutionary birthday on December 25th. Yes. Absolutely. Jesus was a revolutionary. And under his tutelage were 12 disciples. And what happened in the end, because they were working across lines of division to organize and mobilize, you got hung, right? But I represent the National Union of the Homeless. We came into existence during the mid-'80s. When President Reagan cut the housing stock 81%. Yep. And we are organizing on the ground because we can speak for ourselves. Yes, we can. Thank you. In the mid-'80s, I was coming out of homelessness as a veteran, and I met up with the most prolific organizers across this country. We reconstituted the National Union of the Homeless in 2019 at the Congress of the National Poor People's Campaign in Washington, D.C. But I want to tell you today that we should be fed up. Yes. Yes. We should be fired up. Yes. Because we're not going to take it anymore. Yes. Enough is enough, and we call on today Governor Daniel McKee to lift every single ban that we demand, because we only organize and get what we take. And that's taking back our power. Shifting the moral narrative of Christian nationalism that blames people for their own poverty. We may be homeless, but we're not helpless. We may be homeless, but we're not helpless. We can speak for ourselves. We can organize for ourselves. We're here. And one of the things that the rulers of this empire don't want is for us to look like this today. To work across lines of division. Moral leaders, faith leaders, the impacted that are suffering in the street in the richest nation in the world. Nobody today should be allowed to sleep in the subway stations, in the bus stations, in tents, on the streets, while some have a winter home and some have no home at all. Even Governor McKee, let me tell you something. This rally must go on through the winter, through the spring, through the summer, and through the fall. Because we've been homeless through the winter, through the spring, through the summer, and through the fall. But one of the most important things we must remember today before we leave here, as my brother said, we're going to get our names and numbers and contact information, because we must build a massive mobilizing vehicle to demand our fundamental basic rights as humans living in this country. We have to not only create a new society, we must create the new human beings. We are fighting against chemical warfare in Boston, Massachusetts. Mayor Wu, shame on you for having a state-created condition of massive addiction with no services. But let me tell you something. This is happening in Salinas, California with our National Union. This is happening in Philadelphia. It's happening in LA. It's happening in Roxbury, Massachusetts. It's happening in Rhode Island. Guess what? Let me tell you something. And I need you all to research. Because we have to be trained, disciplined, and organized. Because they're trained, disciplined, and organized, and they're coming for it. But that's a good thing. let this die down. Let's keep it up. We have some of our organizers from Massachusetts. Raise your hand that are here today. But we're going to bring in the forces. We're going to bring in the region. Because we have to band together. We have to stick together because they stick together. But remember, they don't want us to stick together. They want to throw in the color question. They want to throw in our LGBT community and lock us out. They want to throw in the religion and lock us out, but we're not going to allow them to do it. We're going to stick together as one unit and one family related to poverty, to unite the poor and dispossess, to take back what is ours. It belongs to us. Because why? Before I end, we are at the rich man's house.
Yes.
So let's get it going.
Oh,
we went down to the rich man's house and we took back what he stole from me. Took back my dignity. Took back my humanity. We went down to the rich man's house. Took back what he stole from me. Took back our dignity. Took back our humanity. You know it's under our feet. Where? Under our feet. Where? Under our feet. Yeah, it's under our feet. We gotta let no system walk all over me. Here we go again. We went down to the state house and we took back what they stole from me. Took back our dignity. Took back our humanity. It's under our feet. Under our feet. Where? Under our feet. Yeah, it's under our feet. And gotta let no system walk all over me. Because we are the people. And we have the power. Say it again. We are the people. And we have the power. And we're building power. And we're shifting the moral narrative. And we're only organizing to what? Take back what was stolen from us. The Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival, says that we need to dismantle death dealing structures. So let's remember, educate,
Thank you for that. Can y'all hear me or should I take this off?
Take it off.
All right, bet. Hi, y'all. My name is Jordan. I'm an organizer with the PSL, for the Party for Socialism and Liberation. We're a multi-class, multinational. Well, no, we're not multi-class. We're working class. Let me not. We're a multinational, multi-generational, working class party. And yeah. So, dang, where would I even start? I'm just going to get to the basics. Do you think there's money to pay for this?
Yep.
Yes!
Right. So, like, there's COVID funds. The Superman building, someone bought that for $30 million in, like, 2008. They let it sit there, right, while people froze to death in the streets. So whether it's a question of money, like, that's not what it is. McKee is in a different class. He's not a worker, right? He's sold out. He's whatever it is. But like, housing should not be given or distributed by a market, right? Like something so essential to our survival, food, water, housing, whatever it is. Why are we going to leave that to, again, the market thing has made no sense to me, ever, right? Like, we're supposed to expect that, does it have a moral compass? Like, does the market think for itself? Whatever. People shouldn't be able to buy and sell your housing. Y'all see the point. So for McKee, this whole thing, and I don't want to talk for too long, McKee's basically saying if you can't afford $1,700 or $1,800 one bedroom, then you don't deserve to live. So yeah, do y'all believe in a system where the thing you need, food, shelter, water, is literally bought and sold for a profit for a few people to make millions? All right, so I'll just leave it at like, we need a new system.
Yes.
like people have said, anything we get from this, like anything, someone's in a hotel, someone's in a shelter, that would not have happened without the struggle, right? That would not have happened without a fight. We get nothing that we don't fight for, and we lose a lot more than we stand to gain if we do nothing. So yeah, keep struggling. Thank you all for being here.
Dwayne, wait one second. We have one more thing before we talk. Come on up, Paula.
I'm Paula with Better Lives Rhode Island. I just want to say, in the Advent season, for those of you who celebrate Christmas, that everybody outside in tents and in the 79 other tent encampments throughout Rhode Island, they're all Mary and Joseph's.
Right.
Mary and Joseph's. There's no room at the inn for any of them. So for those who profess to care, let's see some action.
Amen. Thank you.
Okay, friends, we have a proposal. We'll have to vote on it. What we're proposing is, as I said, we're not prepared to take a rest today. We're meeting with attorneys and so forth, but we're not there yet because we don't do stuff blind. If we can help it, right? But we got to have some kind of a meeting of the tribes here. Frederick Douglass, you know who Frederick Douglass was? Great African-American labor leader because he led slaves, and that's labor. He's a great African-American philosopher and understander. And he said that without struggle, there is no progress. You may have heard that. Without struggle, there is no progress. But the second thing he said was without struggle, the amount of oppression you'll get is the exact amount you'll take until you resist. I'm putting it in my own words. I can't remember the exact words. That's what he was saying. If you want to understand how much weight, how much oppression, how much pain, how much suffering your people will bear, it is the exact amount until there's effective resistance. Yes. We got to have a meeting. We got to connect this. So we just off the side. We have a building in downtown Providence at 4 o'clock on Sunday. There's not much parking on the streets. Unhoused folks got to be in some of these shelters, by the way, by 5 o'clock. But could we have a mass meeting of every organization you're in that you can get to it, or individuals? This is hard to do, a mass meeting of a lot of people. We have to really respect each other. But can we do a mass meeting? We've got a hall that'll hold about 200 people or so. Can we do a mass meeting at 4 o'clock downtown Providence on Sunday? Yep.
Yes.
At Mathewson Street Church, yes.
Mathewson Street Church, 4 o'clock Sunday.
134 Mathewson Street. 134 Mathewson Street.
Now, do we have an organization? I want to say something about the Poor People's Campaign. The Poor People's Campaign, led by a guy named Reverend Barber. How many of you have heard, seen, or know something about the Poor People's Campaign? The Poor People's Campaign is a pretty open organization, but it's also a disciplined organization. So for all of you here, I'm just going to recommend that you consider joining the Poor People's Campaign. Look it up online, because it's a central thing that's not only going to be a connectional point in Rhode Island, but it's also got a network across the nation, right? How precious is that? It does approach things from the standpoint of poor people, though. So be prepared for that. And it is open to agnostics, atheists, Christians, Jews, everybody else. Pay attention to that, but it does have a spiritual base. So I want to invite you to the Poor People's Campaign as a coalition. Check that out. That's not a quid pro quo for this meeting. This is a mass coming together of unhoused people and their allies wherever they may be. 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock?
Sunday!
Wait a minute. No.
4 o'clock?
4 o'clock?
Sunday!
Sunday. 134 Matthewson Street. Is there a central connecting number in an organization?
So what are you talking about?
I'm talking about a phone number. I'm talking about a Facebook. Is there a Facebook up for the Poor People's Campaign?
So yes, Rhode Island Poor People's Campaign does have a Facebook.
All right, let's use that as our central connecting point at least until Sunday. All right?
And if you're interested in learning more about what Poor People's Campaign is doing, we do have a third reconstruction in the House in Washington that we're trying to get through. poorpeoplescampaign.org.
All right, let's have a final song. We have a final song? All right. And a final song. I believe we've stopped the attack for today. Now the courts will start. The governor will have to read his letter from the ACLU. We'll see where we are, that central Facebook page and your own networks. In case we find police cars lining up at midnight, people will want to call. We've got to be able to get the word out. All right? Okay. Song. Oh, go ahead.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around. Turn us around. Turn us around. They're gonna let nobody turn us around. We're gonna keep on walking, keep on talking. Marching up the freedom land once more. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around, turn us around, turn us around. They're gonna let nobody turn us around. We're gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land. Big hugs to all of you. Thank you so much for coming out. Your grave, hear us out, hear us say, we're not going to your grave. You won't bury us now, no, you won't bury us now. Come on, I know you guys have voices. You won't bury us now.
Still fighting the homeless crisis here. I just want to say, Dan McKee! Do your job! Dan McKee! Do your job! Dan McKee! Do your job! Josh Saul! Do your job! Josh Saul! Do your job! Josh Saul! Do your job! Dan McKee! Do your job! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Everybody's attention real quick, because I know we're getting ready to go do our other jobs that we have to do. I think we all need to look around today at all the people that are here, that are fighting for the ones that don't have a bed. I mean, I think you look around, look at everybody that just, they say small problem, which is a national problem. Look around and give yourself a pat on the back for coming out for this today. I know I was out here a long time ago. I know I couldn't do it today. But you got to remember, we got children that are being displaced. We have kids that are coming out of DCF system. We have people that are coming out of jail that don't have anything, that are coming out with. We have people that are housed, trying to get housed today, and they have animals. We have emotional support stuff set up. We have support stuff. You know what? It doesn't work. I can tell you, I tried to call Rhode Island SPCA last night. I tried to call Paro. Asked them, hey, we have a crisis. People have animals. This is what, you take someone's animal, they're gonna die. These people told me that we can't get in touch with that. We can't touch it. But yet, you could go to somebody that's outside sleeping and tell them, hey, I'm gonna take your animal. The only thing that you have to live. If there's one thing I can tell you guys today, and you know, it touched me when someone said it to me. I'm not gonna disclose that person who they are, but I think they're here today. You know, we have no beds for women. First off, women need housing too. That's right. I had a girl that was around. She asked me, what do I do? For the first time in my entire life of me being homeless or me being housed, I couldn't give her an answer. All I could say was, I'm scared for you. Just please don't act up. I was here last night again. I asked them if they want me to stay out here. Yes, I am housed, but I still feel the fear everybody else of. I'm one paycheck away from losing my apartment, and I'm on Social Security. There are no houses. There isn't. There's people that I've worked with for years that are here that can attest to this. You're saying there's beds, there's not. You jumped over hoops and boundaries and bumped people that really needed to, just like these ones, to get a bed. But what about the ladies' beds? What if we have Crossroads? We have, what, the rescue mission. That's 2 shelters here that we have right now for women in this Rhode Island. Where do you want me to put them? Personally, where would you like me to put them? I got some places I can put them now. I can put them on the front lawn. Since this is not visible to you. This is visible right now. We are making national news. Those that don't know, Boston Globe, places like that are on. It's made Google. Be proud today of what you're accomplishing, because there's people here that can't speak because of their fear of what's going to happen to them if they do say, I'm homeless. But this one said I can't do it because this shelter kicked me out and this shelter kicked me out. We have that out here right now. What would you like me to do with them? I need you to have an answer. Because we've given you the solutions for this. Come on. You blatantly want to avoid us. But like I said, through the whole thing, what if it was your family member out here right now? You would jump through hoops, boundaries, and anything to get your family out. This is my family here. I want them out. I'm going to stand by them. We have to make a stand. We have to show the governor, we have to state of Rhode Island that you put this man here to be a governor to take care of us. You failed. You see this whole room here? And they voted. We're taking care of the people that are outside. So if anybody here tells you today, congratulations, and I thank you, and I salute you for it, guess what? I think that could be me out there. I hope somebody will do the same thing that you're doing now for these people.
Diamond, I met when I worked at the Lithuanian Club in the beginning of winter, and when the doors shut to the Lithuanian Club, we began to lose people at a very rapid pace. As a local artist here, I perform at venues where, you know, we're having a good time, and some of the encampments are 5 minutes up the street and people are dying in the woods. You know, right down the street from where we're celebrating life, people are just dying. And after my friend Tara here says a few words, who also works at the Lithuanian Club and does a tremendous amount of work all the time, I'd like to have a moment of silence for some of the people that we've lost. And if anyone knows names of people that have been lost, shout them out once we get there so we can just have a moment of silence for them.
I just want to touch upon what other people already touched upon. Our foster care children, they're being released to the street. Our people in jail are being released to the street. And the elephant in the room, like, we have people that are choosing harm reduction as their pathway of recovery, and the government doesn't want to help those people. Those are the most vulnerable. There's about 100 of them. They're out here, and it's because they're using. They deserve to use. If they're at home, they're going to use. Give them housing. Give them a hotel. They know how to take care of each other because they're doing it out here. They're making sure they're not
And we all
dying.
have addictions. Our addictions look very different, but we all have addictions, and everyone can attest to that. We all have something going on that we're trying to escape, and we're all trying to feed ourselves with something, and this is just all they're doing. This is the only food they've known. So if they're struggling with using, we just need to give them a place to do it and figure it out in peace, just like we have, you know? Yeah.
And the only last part I want to say is last year, although in the List Club, we probably had a really bad reputation. But we were there 90 days, 99 days actually, and not one person died. That's what I kept on reminding ourselves. That's what we're here for. We're here to make sure nobody freezes.
People brought each other back to life when we were in that pop-up shelter. We didn't have any help from the state, and people were bringing each other back to life on a regular basis because they knew how to take care of one another. We ate, we sat down as a family almost every single night, fed each other, and people went into that space afraid of people. And I, as a single mother with children, went in there every day having people tell me, you can't go in there, you shouldn't go in there. My own father, who slept in the streets most of my life and dealt with his own issues of addiction, was like, don't go there, don't be around those people. But there was no danger to us, you know. We went there and we just treated people like people, and some of them are gone now. One of them, Jose Moab is what they called him, and he was only 23, and he was a bright soul, a bright individual, and he couldn't go back home because every time he went home, his mom kicked him out, or he had some familial issue or something. Not that I'm trying to, you know, speak on his family situation, but you know how it is. We all have our struggles within our own family. And he passed away, you know, from an overdose. And then we had another person, Matthew, who I was very close with. He went to school for journalism. He was actually a journalist. And when I was facing my own displacement, I brought journals and writing utensils and art supplies and music. And he actually began journaling and writing poetry every day, even during his addiction and during his lows and highs. He was, you know, heading back to the place where he had gone to school and, you know, was trying to foster that within himself just because he had a space to do it, just because he had a warm place to be. He might have been using, but he was journaling and writing poetry every day. I think that's a miracle, you know, and we have the power to give that to people with just a little bit of space. We just need space for people to heal. Space for people to heal.
The last time I seen Matthew, actually, I dropped some stuff at the encampment. I said, Matthew, what are you doing today? He said, I'm going to get an ice cream cone. I said, really? I gave him the money for the ice cream cone. Took a couple hours off his time. That was the last time I seen him. Breaks my heart that I'm never going to see him again. He was a bright light in this world. The other part that I wanted to touch upon a little bit is the armory. He says he's opening it, right? 360 beds. Who's staffing it?
Nobody applied.
Nobody
applied. Nobody applied for the RFP.
No one replied.
So, hi guys, I'm Alexandria Gonzalez. I'm someone who was formerly homeless on and off for years. A lot of you know me. There's a couple different things I want to talk about. It doesn't matter whether you're an addict, you're not an addict. We all deserve housing. That's the point. We all deserve to have a roof over our head, to feel safe. Besides that, though, there are way too many women and children. I have a single mom with 5 kids at Motel 6 that FCCP took this girl's Section 8 voucher, did not take her to her 5 o'clock appointment to look at her apartment, and then called the state on her, right? So that we were able to work with the state. They did not take their children, right? But we run a small organization, guys. It's all led by formerly homeless and homeless. Tomorrow night, anybody that's homeless, if you want to come to the advisory committee, it's 423 Whedon Street, Pawtucket, 6:30. There'll be food. You'll get a gift card for coming. Please come and share your story. It's really important. At the end of the day, we can have PhDs, MSWs, it doesn't matter. If you've never actually gone through the system, you can't teach somebody how to get out, right? And at the end of the day, that's the deaf leading the blind. And I'm sorry, in regards to Caitlin Fumi's comments yesterday on Steve Alquez, she couldn't imagine what it would feel like. Well, how about we reverse the roles? Everybody here that's an executive director, I don't make $1 to do what I do, but anybody that does, why don't we take your paycheck away and reverse the role and see how long you last outside? Because I can guarantee you, you'll be doing everything that everybody else does to try to survive. Right? So, now, if everybody leaving the DOC, everybody on the street, and everybody anywhere has to go through CES, is that 3 access points to entry or 1? 1. We should be able to go to day centers. We should be able to go to anywhere and say, hey, can I get on this list? Can you see in front of you how many open beds there are? When I left Rhode Island in 2013, I wasn't an addict anymore. I wasn't all these things, but I still couldn't take a shower, right? And I give a lot of respect to House of Hope and the shower truck, but I personally don't want a shower where I used to get hot. You know, it's not a safe environment for me. It's a trigger. And I'm not saying, you know, it's better than nothing, right? If it wasn't for them, where would we shower? Now, everybody needs to realize that there's no real family shelters. A mother, a father, and their kids cannot go to a shelter. You can't get state assistance if there's a mother, a father, and kids in the home. So what's the objective? To break up the family. To then do what? Take the children, right? We know DCYF does not have anybody that works specifically for homelessness. So we all need to organize and come together as homeless, formerly homeless. We need to actually remove that name because we are people. We're mothers, we're fathers, we're sisters, we're brothers, right? Some of us are CDL drivers and union workers. So we need to stop saying we're going to end homelessness because guess what? My kid's father passed away. I was homeless. My mother went to jail. I was homeless as a kid, right? They are circumstances. So when we say we're going to end it, that's a false narrative and a fake reality. So if your house burns down or you have a medical crisis or somebody passes away, those are life things though. They're going to happen, but that doesn't make us like way down here, right? And so the stigma is, oh, well, they're an addict. Well, actually, the majority of the folks that I've been dealing with, they don't have mental illness anymore. They might have. They have drug addictions, but they're not using, and they can't get support. Remember, housing first means this. Low barrier threshold, extremely mental illness, and extreme drug addiction. So, if that's really the case, why do we see everybody outside? But I would never shout it out. Right? If that's really the truth. So housing first does not work. It's not house them and help them later. It's address the situation, whatever it is. This isn't rocket science, guys. How can we house people in 30 days with no CES, no HMIS, and no funds? Because we have compassion, caring, and we've been through it. So we know how to navigate and move and whatever it needs to be done. Guys, we need to come together. We really, really do. Please, 423 Whedon Street. It's not the biggest office, but we'll pack that sucker. I don't care. Right?
Come together.
We need to be there.
Right now.
You know, there will be legislators there, and there will be, Steve and Pat will be there. No service provider is allowed. It's a safe place. And I don't mean peers, okay? But I mean people that have never gone through the situation are not allowed in the building.
Amen.
Okay? That's how it is, that's how it goes. Every 2 weeks we have an advisory meeting. We give gift cards for Cumberland Farms, buy cigarettes, buy whatever food, whatever you need, I don't care. It's yours, right? And whatever you guys want to eat, we'll all decide on what we want to eat. We'll add you to the group chats. But we're not against anybody's service provider or anybody, but we as a people have to do this. And until we actually break down what has already happened and rebuild, we're never going to get there.
Amen.
We're never going to get there.
Amen.
And we got to stop spending money on certain things that aren't going to work. And I'm sorry, and this is no disrespect again to House of Hope, but I myself don't want to sleep in a tin can with a slab, with no running water, no shower, no nothing. I'd rather sleep in my tent. I'd rather sleep where I used to sleep at the water fire where I could lock myself in under that little bar. So if anybody don't know about that spot, you can go lock yourself in under there. Right? But Let's improve them pallet shelters. Let's just add a little bit more stuff so that nobody can say nothing. And it's what it needs to be, right? Nobody can backlash. Nobody can say it's not worth it. It's worth it. We just gotta, we can go to Lowe's or Home Depot for $2,400, guys. We can get a 2-deck shed, man. This shit isn't rocket science. So let's come together. 423 Wheaton Street tomorrow at 6:30. If you need a ride, I'll be here. Contact me. We'll get you there, whatever you need. All right? God bless you all. It's been a long time. Oh, God.
So I really want to thank everyone who spoke. It's so important to have the voices, particularly people who are experiencing homelessness outside, people who have experienced homelessness. Alexandria is right about who should be leading this and who we should be listening to, and it's the people who are actually going through it. Let me point out that it's after 9:30 and we're all still here. Almost 10. All of you being here has stopped them from going ahead with this eviction.
They can't. They will not.
It didn't happen. Coming together like this is what will continue to stop them. And we have some ideas, and I'm not going to say in detail what they are, obviously for a good reason. We're going to talk about these at 4 o'clock at Mancuso Street Church on Sunday.
134 Mancuso Street, Providence, Rhode Island. 134 Mancuso Street.
Thank you, Brandon. So this was really important, what we did today.
Thank you.
We need to stay together. We need to get as many people as we can to the organizing meeting. And let me just say, there is going to be an action with many, many more people than this in the very near future. And that's what we're going to work on Sunday. Thank you so much.
I see you give the keys
Hold on. I just want to remind everybody Sunday at 4 at Mancuso Street Church. And you can find Poor People's Campaign, RI on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So please get in contact with them.
One last thing. Give the keys, crony staff members behind you all. Take a picture. You guys in the scene who's going to focus over here on this. I got 2 chicks I want to leave this building with. As one, give the keys for your job. And number 2 is, they got the funds, use them. 1, 2, 3. Give the key! Do your job! Give the key! Do your job! Give the key! Do your job! Do your job! You got the funds! Use them! You got the funds! Use them! You got the funds! Use them!
Hang on, you guys!
One second, guys.
Hey, yo, hold on!
I just have a question. I don't know who can answer this, but what happens if the police come when we all leave? That's what I'm saying.
I don't think we should leave. I think that there should be.
Currently being slotted for right now, and the ACLU
Right.
Can we, guys,
Faye wants us to speak.
Faye is willing to speak. This is like really important, guys.
She's one of the tenants from the State House, and she wants to speak today. She's been homeless for a while. She was with us at Smith Street Shelter, and now we'll let her talk to you.
You guys give us. Hey, can we just say a minute, please?
Be quiet, please.
Everybody, can we give Faye a second?
Faye is homeless right now.
My name is Faye. I'm 44 years old. I have 3 beautiful children who are not with me because I'm homeless.
It's all right, Faye. We got you, baby.
How long have you been homeless for?
About 3 years.
Can you guys
She's
hear
been
her?
homeless for 3 years. She has 3 children.
How old went to home?
12, 5, and 6.
Faye was at the Lithuanian Club with us, and she's the sweetest, kindest soul. She never did anything to cause any problems ever. She just